All right, you guys, I have been wanting to do a Zoom kind of like this for a long time. And this morning, I just really felt like God was like, all right, you're going to do it today. And I'm going to tell you what to say. And so I have been kind of like adding to my notes all day. And so I hope this really comes across how I want it to. Okay. So this isn't just like another team call. This is like line in the sand moment. We're not here to make a little money or hit a little rank. Like we're here to build legacies for our kids, our future, the women who are watching us on social media who like just need hope, who need to see somebody else do it. That's what we're doing here. Okay. So if you've been waiting for the perfect time, and you just feel like something, you're just waiting on something, this is it. This is your moment. Okay. And I need you to go into tonight with that feeling that like this is your moment. Okay. So I wanted to share something that Katie shared earlier because one thing that I want us to work on and kind of think of through this whole thing is we got to take a lot of excuses off the table, right? And so Katie posted or shared in one of the team chats, she said it's easier to blame your upline than to admit you didn't actually do the work. You wanted someone to check in or coach you or keep you accountable. But at the end of the day, you weren't a priority because you never moved like you were serious about this. Then she shared, it basically says you didn't post for 2 weeks, you reused content, called it a strategy, you tried Reels but gave up because it didn't go viral on day two. You spent more time watching other people succeed than learning what actually works and how it's working for them. And then it said, are you trying to blame Meta, your follower count, your mentor, your company? At the end of the day, your business isn't growing because you keep ghosting your own goals. Okay, because how many of you guys put a one in the chat if you've set these goals, these big things, and then kind of like get scared of your own goal and you're like, oh, why did I think I could do that? Anyone else feel like that? Like you set these big things, you're like, I'm gonna do it, and then you're like, what gave me the thought process that I could do that? You guys know that the TikTok where it's like, and what gives you that idea? And it's like delusion. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where it's like after you say what you actually want to do, you're like, dang. How am I going to do that? And so I want to talk to you guys about what we're doing here and about what legacy is and what it really means because a lot of times we start thinking small in here because we don't want to think really big and then fail ourselves. We're just going to like try to make $100 or maybe like $50 or like maybe the 500, right? Like we have these small goals, but legacy that's not what we're going to do. We're going to talk about a legacy, okay? And I'm not even talking about just like a big house or leaving money behind. I'm talking about being fully present now, here, in the life you're living, and creating that legacy that you're active and you're present and you're here, but you're also creating something that's going to impact future generations for a very, very, very long time. Okay. So the way you're showing up now is already changing your family story. Okay. So how do you want to be? How do you want to be when someone later says, hey, this is what it was like to be raised by Katie, by Charlie, by Alicia? How do you want someone to say, this is what it was like to live with her? This is how she was, right? Are you building and working and living with integrity, with faith, with vision? How are you being, right? And so you guys, a lot of you, and I've been having a lot of conversations that you guys grew up with some nonsense. Okay. I'm just going to call it like it is. A lot of us grew up with some nonsense. But at the end of the day, you can be the circle breaker. You can be the first to do something different. I saw a quote the other day and I forgot about it because I had heard it a long time ago. And it said it ran in my family until it ran into me. And so, what is that you want to run into you to just stop? Is it debt? Is it anger? Is it depression? Is it anxiety? Is it a stressed out family? Like, what is that you want to end here? So I want you guys to start thinking about like what kind of legacy do you want your kids to talk about when they're older? What do they want? What do you want them to say about you? What story do you want your business and your life to tell them? What do you want them to say about you and what you did and why you're doing this and what you're able to do because of what we're doing here, right? And so with building a legacy, you guys, you need to understand the power of Happy Juice and the impact that it can genuinely have on people. Put a two in the chat if you genuinely feel like Happy Juice saved your life. Like Happy Juice changed who you are as a human. When I started Happy Juice, you guys, I was on two different anti-anxiety medications and my doctor was trying to put me on a third. And I said, I don't feel depressed or anxiety, but I also don't feel anything. And I said, this can't be life. This is not how I want to be. And so you guys, you need to understand this is more than just a product. It's more than just gut health and cortisol levels and whatever. Like you are giving women hope again. You are allowing people to imagine themselves as the woman, as the mom, as the parent that they want to be. So many moms are overwhelmed, they're exhausted, they're just overstimulated, and they, at the end of the day, they have nothing left, not only for their husband and their kids, but they have nothing left for themselves, right? And so happy juice can be that first step that makes them feel like they're a human again, right? Because a lot of times when we have kids, it's like, I don't even know, I don't think I'm alive. I don't know, I'm just like a zombie here, right? So it can lead to more patience, more joy, better marriages, more energy, better sleep, like feeling like themselves again. So I need you guys to just get into that mindset and remember that you're not just selling happy juice. We're not just selling it to be like, here's my one of my five. You are genuinely helping someone get their spark back. You're making someone enjoy being a mom again. You're making someone enjoy their life. And that is the legacy that you're doing. It is not just the sale. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, comp plan stuff. How many of you guys like know and understand and love the comp plan? Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, comp plan and I are BFFs. Put a 4 in the chat if you're like, I don't know anything beyond the focus on 5. And it's okay, be honest. Because I've been talking to Jade, and I've been talking to a couple other leaders, and everyone's like, everyone's goal is just to make the focus on 5. And I'm like, it just hit me today, and I'm like, is that because that's all we know? Is that it? That we're just going to go for the focus on 5 because that's it. That's the start and the end. We know we make $500 doing that. Okay? Do you understand that not only do we have the focus on 5, which is great and dandy and incredible and wonderful, but if you are wanting to make a legacy income, even if you're in this 90-day push for gold, the focus on 5 isn't going to get you there. Okay? We have to look bigger than that. In compensation plan, there's a video that Jay did about the compensation plan that I'm going to find after the Zoom, and I'm going to share it in all the team chats and everywhere that I shared this because I want you guys to watch it because you need to love and understand it so that you know what you're going. But the number one thing that I want to tell you guys about that I need to kind of just like rack in your heads is that there's more than the focus on 5. There are leadership bonuses or mentorship bonuses. I don't know what they're called. They're just more bonuses. Okay. We have rank up bonuses, which is when you promote to a certain rank, right? Like, how many of you guys put a 0 in the chat if you're like, I want to go gold in 90 days? Guess what? You're going to get a silver and a gold bonus for that. I don't know what they are. If anyone knows, Jerica, you might put it in the chat. But that's bonuses that are paid in full. But the thing that I want to share with you guys that when I read this and thought about this, I was like, we need to talk about this. When you go gold, okay? Say you go gold 90 days from now. We'll say that's at the end of July even, okay? Guess what? You are guaranteed to make $2,000 a month. So 6 months of that is an extra $12,000 guaranteed to you by Christmas. What would that look like? If you knew that the work you're doing for these next 90 days meant that you had an extra 12 grand by Christmas. How many of you guys could do way more for Christmas than you've ever done? How many of you guys could actually give your kids the Christmas that you've always wanted to give instead of being like, I have $42, right? I've been there and it sucks to be like, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what how I wanted to live Christmas. You wanted to do all these things, right? And so you need to understand that by going gold in 90 days guarantees you 12 grand by Christmas unless you go higher and you make more. That's a lot of money, you guys. This isn't, hey, go gold and you might make ish $2,000. No, it's guaranteed. Guaranteed. Okay? Does that make sense? And we're going to do some more in-depth Zooms and stuff on what that looks like to go gold. But what I need you to understand is you have to shoot bigger than the focus on 5. Okay? You got to shoot bigger. At the end of the day, what I tell people, and if you're on my team, you've probably heard this, and if you haven't, we haven't talked enough, but gold is 100 orders. 100 orders of happy juice, whether that's just you and your team, it's 100 orders. That's it. That's it. Okay? Now, this is something that has been shared a couple times, but I wanted to highlight it, okay? A couple days ago, there is a company that shut down, okay, with no notice, and they had 2 very large products that our CEO, Ozma, had formulated and created. And now, because that company shut down, she owns the right to them. Okay? These two products alone have sold over $400 million in a year just from these two products that we are now going to have because Ozma owns them. Okay, so these products are going to be available to you under our compensation plan. This is going to be insane. Okay, we don't know. You guys, this is my disclosure on this. We don't know when because they have to repackage it. They have to legal mumbo jumbo, right? So our guess-ish is like 4 months, but it's coming. And so I need you guys to start running so that when that hits, you're just like a freaking rocket ship. Okay, but I'm going to give you just like a couple little snippets about the two products. Okay, just real quick to know what you have your hands on that's coming. Because when we get going, then when this comes, we can just rocket ship and make boatloads of money. Who wants to make boatloads of money? Like more than you can even imagine. Okay, right? Yeah. Okay, so number one is called Liquid BioCell. It is a multi-patented collagen, clinically studied, backed by 7 US and international patents for its unique matrix of collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate. Okay. It reduces joint discomfort, promotes healthy, youthful skin, supports connective tissue and joint lubrication. It has hyaluronic acid for deep hydration. There was, in one of the studies, there was a 6,000% increase in hyaluronic acid levels in the skin. And visible results within 30 to 90 days. Product 2 is called Trim. It is for metabolism. It's like a body composition product. Okay, so it is clinically proven CLA, which targets fat loss while preserving lean muscle, especially areas like the belly and thighs. Okay, it's going to tone and tighten, support a healthy metabolism, and combats the slowdown that often comes with motherhood, stress, and age. Okay, so those are products that's coming. Okay, these products have a cult-like following that people are already like frantic that they're not going to be able to use it. And so they are going to be looking for these products that we will now have in a couple months. Okay, that combined with Happy Juice, combined with the Rudis, combined with blank that's coming at convention, which by the way, put a 8 in the chat if you're going to convention in Orlando. Put a 9 in the chat if you're like, convention in Orlando. I need more details, but I kind of want to go. Let me know. Okay. What I want to say, yay, see you there, Amanda. Okay. You need to start activating the legacy version of yourself. Because a lot of times, what happens is you look at where you are and you look at where you want to be. And instead of looking at where you want to be, you look at the gap. And you look at how do I get from here to here? Because this version of me, with this team, with this social media, with this whatever, doesn't give me this. And so all we're doing is looking at that gap of how are we getting from here to here, here to here. I don't get it. And you get stuck because you know where you want to go, but you don't know how to get there. And here's the deal. You're never going to know how to get there. You're never going to know. No one's ever going to make it make sense to where you're like, oh, got it. You just have to continually do things. Okay? If you guys are on my team, you know what I do every day. If you're not on my team, it's probably what you think it is, right? I can share a picture of all the things that I do every day and it might overwhelm you, but it is what it is. Okay? Do the things. Stop ghosting yourself. Stop ghosting your goals and saying like, oh, I just don't know. It's stressing me out. How do I do this? How do I get there? I've only ever enrolled one person in a month. How am I ever going to get to 100 orders on my team? Right? You cannot go from here to there. I remember talking to Jade and I was like, my social medias suck. How many of you have ever thought that or said that? That you're like, I cannot get views, comments, followers, nothing to save my life. Okay? So anyone ever thought that where you're like, my social media is just real bad? Like my social media was so bad that I texted Jade and she goes, maybe you just need to make a new Instagram. That's how bad my social media was. Like my views for the past 30 days was like less than 300. It was real bad. Okay. And I was posting every day. And I was like, what do I do here? And then Jade told me to watch The Secret. If you guys have never watched The Secret or listened to it, listen to it. Okay. If you need the YouTube things to that, let me know and I can share them. But it said just act as if you're living the life you want. And I was like, everything's going viral. Everything's going viral. That's just what's happening. We're just living in a viral world. And that's where I was thinking. And I just was assuming that every time I posted, things went viral. And then a video from before just went viral. And I didn't know how that was going to happen because I didn't have a following. I didn't have any proof saying that I could go viral, that things would happen the way that I wanted them to happen. But I just started assuming that it would and acting as if it was already happening. And now I literally was talking on my stories this morning about how I genuinely cannot keep up. I genuinely have hundreds, if not thousands, of comments that I am behind on because I physically cannot automate all of my accounts. Okay? Listen, have you guys ever heard the saying that's like, be careful what you wish for? Okay? Because I said I was going to go viral. And then I was like, but I have 6 accounts because I have 2 Facebooks, 2 TikToks, 2 Instagrams. Don't recommend it unless this is the only thing you do because it's slightly overwhelming when you decide that everything's going to go viral and then things on all of the accounts are going viral. Okay? You can do so much more than you think you can, but you have to decide up here first that you're going to. You have to decide up here that you're going to stop listening to the thoughts that are like, but how? But this isn't, it doesn't look right. But like, I've tried and then I get distracted, or I've tried and I didn't get the views, or I've tried and I've got the views and I've even gotten the comments, but it doesn't convert, right? And we get so caught up in the here and now of how is this, what we're doing here, going to get us there? And we get so caught up in what that looks like. But I need you to go into it and just assume that what you're doing matters and that what you're doing is the right thing and that what you're doing is going to bring you the right people. Because when you go into it with that thought process, things are going to come together. Okay? And so what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that it's like a year from now. Okay? Imagine that it's a year from now. And I literally want you to take a second and think, like genuinely think of what this would look like. What would it look like if you had a thriving team? Hundreds of people working on your team. What would it look like if you knew without a shadow of a doubt you were making at least $5,000 a month? What would that look like? What would it look like if you were genuinely so happy and at peace and content that your kids could tell you felt lighter? You felt happier. You felt good. What would that look like? Who would you be? How would you act? How would you show up on social media if you knew you were making 5,000+ a month? How would you show up on social media if you knew you had a team of hundreds that you were leading and that you were successful and they were successful? How would you show up on social media if you had 30,000 followers and every video you posted got hundreds of thousands of views and every video you posted got comments? Think about that. How would you talk in your stories? How would you post? What would your videos look like? And I want you to start acting as if that. Okay? Because you show up different when your life is different. And so you guys, I know you've heard the saying, fake it till you make it, right? Act as if you're there. Act as if that's what's happening because you guys, legacy building looks like doing things that most people don't want to do. Because it kind of feels weird to be like, let me act as if I make 10,000 a month when I can't even buy groceries. Do you know what I mean? I've been there. And it sucks to feel where things are that so hard. That's so hard. That doesn't make sense. That hard that you just like can't breathe. And I know what that's like. But I need you to act as if life is so different because eventually, if you keep acting as if life is different and telling yourself life is different, life will be different. Okay? Legacy building looks like showing up and doing the work when no one's watching. When no one knows that you didn't do all the things on your task list that day. When no one knows that you didn't respond to comments or post videos or whatever, right? Like no one's coming to fire you from Amari. No one's coming to stop your account. But you know who knows? You know. You know. And we all know what that feels like when we go to bed and we're like, dang, I really should have done more today. Because at the end of the day, the only person that you're letting down is yourself and your family and the lives of women who are meant to be touched by you. Because you all, every single one of us on here have specific people that are meant for us to touch. And it's up to you to decide to go out there and do the dang thing so that you touch those people, right? So legacy building looks like messaging when you're tired. Legacy building might look like waking up before your kids. You guys, I do a Zoom every Monday through Friday at 6:15 Eastern. And 90% of the time, I'm not a functioning human, but I am waking up and doing the things before my kids get up, right? It looks like posting when you're unsure about if it's even good or not, right? It looks like praying before every Zoom and praying for God to give you the right people and trusting that He's going to. It looks like getting out of your own way of taking every little detour and wondering if this is going to be the next big thing and this is going to be the next big thing. So many of us get so distracted on trying, oh, maybe let me try this wording, and just switching gears 8 million times that we're not doing anything long enough to see a result. I've talked to so many of you guys on here where I'm like, the problem is not that you don't know how to do it. The problem is that you're not consistent in it long enough to see the results. Put a 0 in the chat if you guys have seen Mariah's TikTok growth guide. Her and I came up with that one random week that we were sick and tired of being sick and tired. That is what we do. There's a couple other things, but it's all around that. It is not about perfection. It's not about having the most perfect Zooms or the most perfect videos and perfect wording and perfect. No, it's just showing up consistently. That's what it's about. Okay? I need you guys to know that you are equipped for this. You are called for this. God is going to bring you the right people at the right time so that this works the way you want it to. You guys, I have said this on so many Zooms, and I feel like I need to say it now that you guys, God is not a God that y'all know that I think it's Geico, maybe Progressive commercial where the guy's like with the dollar bill and he's like, "Oh, almost had it. Almost had it." That's not what God's doing with your dreams. God is sitting there with a bucket of all the blessings that he has for you and he's like, "Is she going to go for it? Like I have all these. I have this already, but is she going to trust me? Is she going to do the things? Is she going to go out and act as if I'm going to give it to her so I can?" He's got it all there for you. You have those dreams in your heart for a reason because you're able to fulfill them and reach them, but you have to meet him halfway. He's not just going to send you an email and be like, "Hey, I just gave you $10 million." You have to get up and go and do the things and go after those dreams that are on your heart for a reason. Okay? And so before we end tonight, I want you guys to decide on like a bold legacy move. Okay? What is one thing in this business that you've been avoiding that maybe you haven't been showing up consistently for, or you've done it a couple times, but you're not all the way in? What is one thing that you're going to commit to? And you can put it in the chat. You can think about it. What are you committing to that you're going to stick to? Maybe it's TikTok, like Charlie said. Maybe it's mindset. Maybe it's you're going to actually freaking believe in yourself and fix it and figure it out how to believe in yourself. Maybe it's actually logging into the team chats and like seeing what's happening and getting loud in the team chats. Guys, team chats are fun. You make best friends in the team chat. That's what y'all, team chats are where it's at. Okay. Get loud in the team chats. That's the other thing. Okay. Stay close to the fire. Share what's exciting for you. Share all the things. I need you guys to dream bigger and believe that you can do it. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone need clarification on anything? I just need you guys to believe in yourself more. And I hope this Zoom did that for you where it was like, you know what? I can do more. There's a lot of lives left to impact. Okay? A lot of lives left to impact. And I need you to realize that there are specific people that are set to your name. Just like some of you guys were lives that I was meant to impact. Right? Some of you guys were meant to be impacted by me. And so there are people like you that need to be impacted by you, that your story is going to help them, that you're going to mentor them, and you need to go out and do those things. Does that make sense? TikTok growth thing. If you go into our Limitless Collective board, Scroll mainly to the bottom-ish. I believe it's on the right-hand side. It says TikTok Growth Guide or TikTok Guide to Growth. Something like that. And there's a video, there's a task list, there's scripts, there's all the things. Um, it's all there. If you need help finding it beyond that, let me or Jade or whoever your leader is know and we'll walk you through it. Any other questions? Okay. If y'all are not using ChatGPT, will I share my task list? Yes, I will. May overwhelm you. Just there was a kid screaming outside and I thought it was my kid and I was like, what just happened? He was asleep. Um, if it overwhelms you, I'm so sorry, but I will share it. If you guys are not using ChatGPT to work on your mindset, you can literally tell ChatGPT to like act as if you're my mindset coach and figure out what's wrong with me and tell me what to do. Do that. But I asked ChatGPT to, yes, I'll share it in the team chat. Yeah, it's not pretty. Just a heads up. Like I just wrote it out on like a notes on my phone and like took a screenshot of it and shared it into a couple like a group of my girls. But yes, I will share it. Um, but I asked ChatGPT to write like a little closing prayer just to like leave us with some peace. Okay. So you guys close your eyes, bow your head. It's my first time praying on Zoom. Also, I pray every day, but I've never done it on Zoom, so just bear with me. Okay. But ChatGPT wrote it. So if you don't like it, go to him, her, it. I don't know what ChatGPT is. It's my favorite person in the world is ChatGPT. All right. God, we thank you for the women on this call. We know you don't place dreams in our hearts without purpose. Give us courage to step into our calling. Give us clarity when we feel stuck. Give us boldness to build the kind of business that reflects your goodness, your favor, and your abundance. We trust you with the legacy we're building. Let it be one that honors you, impacts others, and brings peace and provision and abundance to our families. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I love you guys so much. I hope this was helpful. I hope this hit your heart the way it needed to. If you are someone that you're like, this Zoom is for me, let me know because this Zoom this morning, I was like, this Zoom's for someone. This Zoom is for someone, someone needed to hear it. And so I hope it was you. I hope it impacted you the way that it needed to. I will put this up on YouTube tonight and I will share all the task lists and everything. And if you guys have any questions about anything I said or anything like that, ask in the team chat and I will answer them as quick as I can. Bye, guys.